Yo, what's up guys, welcome to my humble YouTube channel where I bring you fanfiction that will brighten your days. Before we start, a subscribe is greatly appreciated, and don't forget to leave a like and ring the bell icon so you won't miss exciting new fanfiction stories. The Journey of the Katana Hero by TheTrinity9 Chapter 7. The Bird and the Wolf. Now we are currently waiting for our meals. Yesterday, we managed to get 2 more companions, Ranga and Filial Egg from Bellucas. I must say it, he has been a big help in our endeavors, even more than that kingdom. If it weren't for that man, there's a chance we never met our current companions. We owe him a lot. Also, the 4 cardinal heroes and me as vassal weapon holder, the king told me, finally got our monthly salary by 1,000 silvers for each heroes. Finally our meals are arrived, having ordered 4 cheapest meal sets for me, Naofumi, Raftalia and Ake, and 1 meat lover's meal for Ranga. As we began to dig our meals, Raftalia breaking the silence. Naofumi-sama, what do you think we'll get from that monster egg? She asked, motioning to the egg with the seal. No idea. I'm hoping to get a dragon, but I'll be fine with whatever. As long as we get something useful, then it really doesn't matter to me. Naofumi stated. We'll start our grind again after this egg is hatched, so we can increase Ranga's and this monster in one go. Good idea, Naofumi. I commented. We can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Anyway, what are we going to do now? I think we should go to apothecary, Lady Rimuru. Sir Naofumi and I create some healing potions to sell and some for us, Ake suggested. That's a good idea, Mr. Ake. Who knows, maybe we could learn some sort of special all-healing magical potions or something. Raftalia joked with a smile. We only giggled at her words while Ranga letting out a cute, woof, sound. Right, as if. I also want to see if apothecary has any books on medicine that we could buy. Once we finished our meals, we exited from the restaurant. Raftalia carry out the egg and I carry out Ranga, and we go to the apothecary's shop. The shield hero and katana hero, just the person I wanted to see, the apothecary said, waving towards the group. Before he went further, he noticed Ranga and the object in Raftalia's hands. Oh, what do you have there, a cute puppy and egg? He asked as he rubbed his chin, interest taking hold of his face. This is just a monster egg that we bought. We're hoping for a dragon, but regardless of what it is, it'll be a big help for sure. Raftalia replied, shrugging. While on Rimuru-sama's hands is the tempest wolf named Ranga. We bought him along with the monster egg. Ah, such a rare monster you have on your party. I also hope you have good luck with that egg. Anyway, shield hero and katana hero, I wanted to give you all this. This is a medical grimoire. It contains recipes for finer medicines, so it could potentially help you create higher grade potions. I was asked by some of my relatives in Ryut village to help you out, so consider this grimoire a token of my gratitude. The apothecary said, motioning for us to take it. Helping Ryut is worth it after all. Like people always said, while you do something good, a good fortune will always follow you. After grabbing the book and opening it, Naofumi's HUD scanned the pages, but left a message which slightly lowered his spirits. Failed to translate. Damn, I can't read any of it. Can you translate this, Rimuru? Naofumi asked me as he gave me the grimoire. Let me check. I began to scanning the pages with my HUD, but same as Naofumi, I can't translate the pages. Same for me, I can't translate this. That means we can only translate the sound, Naofumi said with slight frown. Anyway, thanks for the book. Not only could this potentially increase my potion's qualities, but also help me learn the language of this place. You're welcome. Oh, something else before I forget. That old witch in a few stores from here asked me if you could head on over to her shop. Says she also has a reward for you, since you helped her grandkid back in Ryut. The apothecary informed them, motioning towards the direction of her shop. Alright then, we'll make sure to stop by. Also, could you tell your name so we can properly address you by? Naofumi asked. Sure. The name's Luther Kid. Yours? Now the man known as Luther asked back. Naofumi Iwatani. The rest of my companions is Rimuru Rashi, Raftalia, Ake Rolf and Ranga. Naofumi answered as he addressed us one by one. It's nice to knowing you all. Anyway, you best get going. I don't want to make that old hag wait any longer, he told us as we finally leave his shop. Naofumi-sama, Rimuru-sama, Since you can't read Melromark's language, I can help teach you. I don't remember much, but we could learn it together nonetheless, she told us. And let me help you teach our heroes, Miss Raftalia. Ake added. I can properly read Melromark's language thanks to my father. Really? Well, if that's the case, then we've got some work to do when we get some free time. This grimoire may hold the keys to the secrets of medicine I need in order to get better quality potions. Naofumi said while holding up the book before place it on his inventory. We really lucky to have you two as our companions. I personally couldn't ask better companion than you two. I said with a smile. And you too, Ranga. You are also important to this team. Raftalia and Ake seemed to happy at the prospect of being able to be help us as their favorite heroes, let alone got praised from us, even if it was just to help read a book. I'm also glad that I got these amazing companions who put their best to me, and I'm sure Naofumi just as glad as me. And then, we finally arrived at the witch's shop. Once we entered, I could notice how the inside seemed like it had been ripped right out of Harry Potter. From the crystal ball, to the different trinkets, potions, and possible spellbooks. Definitely Harry Potter. I thought. Ah, the shield hero and katana hero. Welcome to my store, said a stout lady with brown hair and clothing that made her look like a stereotypical witch. Hello there, ma'am. Are you the witch that Luther sent us to? I asked her. Yes, I am. My name is Matilda, and I have to thank you too for helping my grandson back in Ryut village during the wave. It was thanks to you and your companions that I can see him once more. So in return, I was thinking that I'd take a look at what your magical affinities are, Sir Shield Hero and Lady Katana Hero. Matilda said as she smiled at us. Thank you, Matilda. I smiled at her. Anyway, my name is Rimuru and my companions here is Naofumi, Raftalia, Ake and Ranga. Alrighty then, if you would step over here please. The witch requested, motioning for us to come closer towards the crystal ball on the counter. Just go ahead and place a hand atop the crystal ball, then we can get started. First is Sir Naofumi. Matilda said, smiling sweetly at Naofumi. Doing as she said, Naofumi placed his hand on the crystal ball. Once that was done, Matilda began inciting an incantation that Naofumi could not pick up on. Once the incantation was done, Matilda was able to see what forms of magic he held. My, Sir Naofumi, it seems that you have a rare affinity for both healing and supportive magic. That doesn't come at too much of a surprise, considering you were a cardinal hero, as well as what weapon you were chosen for. The witch informed him, earning a smile from him. His role is completely tanker and support, and the strong one. This kind of tank and support that us, the carry dreamed of. I thought happily. His attack points is the lowest, but when it comes to defense and support, no one can beat him. Well, thank you for the update, ma'am. I have a question though. Even though those are my affinities, is it possible to learn other styles of magic? Naofumi asked, hoping that she would say yes. His hopes were quickly crushed at her response. Sorry Sir Naofumi, but I have never heard or seen someone be able to use magic outside their own affinities, so I don't believe so. Matilda replied, her smile disappearing for a moment as she broke him the bad news. Well, if that's the case, then it can't be helped. If my role is to be a support, then I'll be a support. No shame in that. That just means that I have one of the most important jobs in the field, he stated calmly, backing away from the orb. Now then, let's check your affinity, Lady Rimuru, Matilda said, motioning for me to come forward. Passing Ranga to Naofumi for a moment, I placed my hand on the crystal ball. Oh my, it seems you also has rare combination, Lady Rimuru. Your affinities are wind, lightning, fire, water and dark elemental magic. So, with these combination, you could easily learn ice, black lightning, black flame, and storm elemental magic. I actually surprised at this. My HUD didn't confirm that I had dark elemental. Not that I'm complaining about that, mind you. And with all this elemental magic, I really become a freaking avatar. Thank you for this information, Matilda. I smiled at her. And then Matilda checked Raftalia, Ake and Ranga's magic affinities. Raftalia's affinities is light and dark magic. Matilda said her having both light and dark is special. So, with this combination, she could easily learn illusion magic. Means Raftalia's role is more on assassin type. Ake on the other hand, have earth and fire magic affinities. I know he has earth magic, but fire is new to me. With this combination, he can easily learn lava magic. Ake's role is more on fighter type. Meanwhile Ranga have wind and lightning magic affinities like Belukas said. Just like his race, the Tempest Wolf, he had natural talent on storm magic. Thank you for all of this, ma'am. Raftalia said with a smile. Oh, it's no problem, dear. Like I said earlier, just something to do to show my appreciation for helping my grandson. Oh, before I forget, there is something I would like for you to take, she said, reaching down below the counter for a certain object. With all that, I would like for you all to have this. This is a magic grimoire, similar to that of Luther's medical one that he should have given you, but this one allows you to unlock magic spells associated with your affinity. Matilda informed them, placing the book on the counter. Taking the book, I placed it on my inventory. Again, thank you very much, Matilda. We'll make sure to use this to good use. Naofumi said, grateful to have another ally in this world. As I said earlier, it's no problem, dearie. While learning from a grimoire is harder, it certainly pays off. If you keep at it and work hard enough, you can learn as many spells as you want. And you all seem like the type who work hard for even the smallest of things, so you will be fine. I believe you can do it, the witch said. We nodded as we finally left her shop to our next destination. On the outskirts of the nearby village of Ryut, Raftalia and Ake had begun to teach us to read one of this new books, and we choose Magic Grimoire first. Setting the egg on Raftalia's side while Ranga sleep beside me, we spend 4 hours to learn Melromark's language. It's hard to be honest, but I won't let that stop me. It's going to take at least 2 weeks to learn this world's language, and we have a really tight schedule. Naofumi sighed. If only there was a skill that can translate this letter into Japanese, then we wouldn't have to worry. Yeah, this is hard. But still we must learn this magic to become stronger. If we can kill monsters, then we also can learn to read this book. I responded with joked. Yeah, you are right. Naofumi smiled. Don't worry, Naofumi-sama, Rimuru-sama. Mr. Ake and I can teach you what we can do. Considering this as a repayment for teaching me everything I know today. Raftalia said with a smile on her lips while Ake nodded in agreement. All right then, I guess that'll be our plan for this stuff. Since it's getting late, however, let's go spend the night in Ryut. Tomorrow, if the egg is hatched, we need to get back to work on our levels. Even if the next wave is in a month, I feel like that should be our main focus on that for the time being. We will learning the language after training. Naofumi suggest. We nodded and began to walk to Ryut's main entrance. So, here's the plan. I explained to everyone while carrying Ranga on my hands. At morning after getting some breakfast, we will do our daily exercise and combat training. I was thinking that if the egg is already hatched, we will start leveling up at least until Ranga and the monster at level 20. Any question? Lady Rimuru, sorry to say this, but I already on level 40. Ake said. I need my class up to growth. Same for me. Raftalia added. I'm already at level 38, I just need 2 more level and then I must class up to growth again. I actually forget about that. I'm not worried about Naofumi since he's the cardinal heroes, which is doesn't need class up or something like that, but Ake and Raftalia definitely need it. Ah, I forgot about that. I sighed. I'm sorry to say this, but you two please wait for your class up. We need to focus on leveling Ranga and the Philolele first. My apologize for that. We understand, Lady Rimuru. Ake said. No need for apologize for that. Yeah. We already grateful that you willingly trained us. Such that thing is not a big problem. Raftalia added. I smiled at them. I am grateful to have such a good and caring party. As we entered the village, we made our way to the local inn. Once we entered, the inn was nearly empty as most of the employees had gone home for the night. The only one left seemed to be the one on the counter. Ah, Sir Shield Hero and Lady Katana Hero. Welcome, welcome. What can I do for our town's savior? The innkeeper warmly asked us. We are looking for a place to stay the night. Naofumi answered in a calm voice. He didn't want to wake any of the other patrons after all. Actually, we do. Although it's only a large room with 2 beds on it. Is that okay with you? The innkeeper asked. Naofumi turned to me, Raftalia and Ake. I nodded in agreement. Raftalia shrugged nonchalantly and Ake nodded. I didn't mind because I trust Naofumi and Ake. Beside, I can just sleep with Raftalia while Naofumi sleep with Ake. Naofumi turned back to the innkeeper. We take it. We can just share beds. Well, if you say so, then here you go, Sir Hero. The innkeeper said as he gave Naofumi the key room. With a nod, we quickly and quietly made our way to the room. As described, it had 2 beds, a dresser, a smaller room for changing clothes, and desk. I go to the smaller room to remove my scarf and boots and change my clothes into my sleeping clothes. You can place the egg in the dresser, Raphtalia. It will be fine for a night. Naofumi told Raphtalia as he taking out the ingredients for making a potion. Ranga. You can sleep beside the egg. Just make sure to be careful, okay? Woof. Ranga answered as he laying down beside the egg and began sleep peacefully. Making potion again, Naofumi? I asked him. Yeah, he nodded. You can take the right bed with Raphtalia. Ake and I will take the left. Taking a seat, Naofumi and Ake began to create the potion, hoping to get some higher quality potions. While they are creating a potion, I take out the magic grimoire and handed it to Raphtalia. Nodded, Raphtalia removing her boots and sat on the bed, facing me. Opening the grimoire, she began to try and translate it. As she flipped through the pages, she realized something was off about the wording of each spell. Rimuru-sama, none of this makes sense. Each word is just a scramble of different letters. Raphtalia told me as she kept flipping through the pages. Yeah, none of the words look right. Really? If so, please read the words for me, I told her. She nodded and began to read it. And she's right, each word I heard is just a scramble of different letters. You're right. I wonder why. As Raphtalia kept going from one page to another, the softness of the bed suddenly felt appealing. She lied down on the bed, giving the grimoire back to me, and she soon drifted off to a peaceful sleep. I take the book back to my inventory before I lied down to finally get some sleep. Upon not hearing any of the pages of the grimoire flip, Naofumi stopped what he was doing and turned around and looking over at Raphtalia and Rimuru. What he saw was the raccoon in question lightly snoring, while his fellow hero sleeping with a blissful expression on her face. They are so cute when sleep. Especially Rimuru. Naofumi thought with a slight blush before shaking his head. What are you thinking, Naofumi? It's not like she will like someone like me, she deserve better. Sir Naofumi. You have to see this. Naofumi's thoughts stopped while Ake called him as he turned back to his companion. Taking a look at what he had made, Naofumi soon found himself surprised at what he saw. Healing Potion X13 quality. Good X7, very good X5, great X1. We finally did it. Naofumi said with smile. Indeed, Sir Naofumi. Ake nodded with his own smile. I also got surprised when I saw this. It seems our hard work is successful. You're right. And I guess we should get some sleep. Naofumi suggested and Ake nodded. Removing their boots and armor, they go to the bed and sleep. The sound of egg cracking and Ranga's howl woke me up from my sleep. I taking a look at my HUD to know what time it is. 5:50 Whelp. Right now is the best time to get up anyway. Turning to face the source, I saw that it actually was an egg cracking. More specifically, the monster egg. I also saw Naofumi, who already woke up while look at the egg with excitement. Morning, Naofumi. I greeted him with a smile. Is the egg? Morning, Rimuru. Naofumi greeted back with smile on his own. Yeah, the egg is began cracking. I wonder what kind of creature we got. Ranga suddenly jumped on my shoulder. I smile at him as I carry him on my hands. Suddenly, after a small piece of the egg broke off, the entire shell shattered, as a small pink bird emerged from it. Pew! The small bird exclaimed as it broke out from the white shell. Taking a step back, obviously not used to seeing a fully grown bird explode out of its shell, I silently compared the tiny thing to a pink baby chick. Pew! The baby bird said once more before leaping into the air. After a moment of flying, the baby Philolil landed on Naofumi's black hair. What came next, however, was made Naofumi slightly annoyed. The baby Philolil then began rubbing itself on the man's head, all the while exclaiming, "Pie! Pie!" over and over again. Ranga howled repeatedly, as if to try to communicate with the bird. The bird noticed him and immediately hid behind Naofumi's body. Ranga, you make it scared, I told him, and remember that bird is not your food, understand? He nodded. But still I must watching over him a little bit more. I don't want him to eat the bird after all. Naofumi-sama, Rimuru-sama, what was that noise? Now Fumi and I turned to the source of the sound, only to find Raftalia and Ake, who was already woke up from their sleep. As they stood up and walked next to us, they saw what had made their hero wake up. "Wow, it's such a cute Philolil Naofumi-sama," Raftalia said as she watched the bird hide behind Naofumi. Reaching up and grabbing the bird, Naofumi ruffled its feathers. "It sure is. All I hope is that it can actually help in a fight, as well as be a sizable mode of transportation." "Yeah. But first, we need to give it a name, Sir Naofumi," Ake informed him. "You're right. How about Philo?" Naofumi told everyone on the room. "Really, Naofumi? Philo? That sound unoriginal," I commented. Naofumi shrugged. "I know I'm not as good as you at naming things, but I think Philo really like it." The bird, now named Philo, chirped in response. "If you say so," I sighed. "Anyway, let's get some breakfast. I'm sure it's got to be hungry." We prepare ourselves before go to the inn's restaurant to get some breakfast. What we not realized, however, is how our day would go, and how our little wolf and bird would grow. The day's events did go as Naofumi and I had initially planned in the previous day. When we were gone to get breakfast from the inn's main lobby, Philo ate an entire bowl of food on her own. When we had left the inn to go farming and training on the fields nearby, we were ambushed by a medium group of wolves. We dispatched the wolves in no more than 3 minutes. We began cutting up the bodies so Naofumi and I could absorb them. To our shock, Ranga and Philo had eaten 8 of the 19 bodies. Oh, I also take some of Ranga's fur and Philo's feather to absorb to my katana. I give some to Naofumi too. Katana abilities unlocked. Sharpness 7, Tyrant Star. Air Strike Blade 3, Agility Enchantment 2, Piercing 2. Tempest Katana, LV 42 200s. Copied ability, 41, ATK plus 520, Mag plus 520, AGI plus 520. Equipment bonus. Immune Wind Elemental, Wind Cutter, Tornado Blade, 1000 Blades, Atomic Slash, level 55 required. After a lengthy day of leveling up, we managed to get some levels, well except Raftalia and Ake, who need to get their class up. We also spent an hour to learn the grimoire. Naofumi had an amazing trick to learn the grimoire more faster. He told Raftalia and Ake to read the grimoire loudly while he told me to rewrite it in Japanese. Such a smart guy he is. Level up. Rimuru Urashi, LV 50, Naofumi Iwatani, LV 45. Ake Rolf, LV 40 asterisk. Raftalia, LV 40 asterisk. Ranga, LV 16. Philo, LV 16. Tempest Katana, LV 5200s, copied ability, 41. ATK plus 600, Mag plus 600, AGI plus 600. Equipment bonus, Immune Wind Elemental, Wind Cutter, Tornado Blade, 1000 Blades, Atomic Slash, level 55 required. Once out training and leveling had finished for the day, we went back to the inn, hungry beyond belief. Me, Naofumi, Raftalia and Ake ordered a slightly more expensive meal than normal to help quench our hunger, but Ranga and Philo had other plans. Both monsters downed over 5 bowls of the same meal before it finally gave in, falling asleep. We called it for the day, too shocked at our monster's glutton attitude. The next day, we had woke up only for saw Ranga and Philo to be a fully grown adult, with Philo have 6 feet when she stand up and Ranga also have 6 feet. This was when Raftalia had the bright idea to try and ride it, which Naofumi and I agreed to test. After making our way out towards the field, Naofumi got onto Philo in a similar manner to that of a horse. Bad decision. Upon being set up, the Philolil shot forward, faster than almost any known animal known to him. The beast only stopped once Naofumi wrapped his arms around its neck and pulled back. I got onto Ranga to test his speed. Thank goodness Ranga can manage his speed and know to stop. Wow, you're so fast, Ranga, I exclaimed with a smile. Thank you, mistress, Ranga answered. Hearing his words, I fell off from him with a shock on my face. His fast grown is one thing, his glutton attitude is another, and now he can talk too. Wait, you can talk, I exclaimed. Yes, mistress, Ranga answered again. I fully understand your surprise. We, Tempest Star Wolf, have an ability to speak human language. I see. I still can't believe this. Then, how can you end up in Beluka's place? Before you brought me, some adventurers killed my father and sell me to that man. Ranga said with a growl. I still can't forgive them. I'm sorry for your loss. I said sympathetically. Then why you trust me so much? Don't you have hatred with humans? I may be a monster, but I am not a fool, mistress. He answered. I know very well that not every humans is bad, there's still a good humans like mistress and mistress's companions. Also, I'm fully aware that Master Naofumi is a shield hero and mistress is a katana hero. Well, that's not a surprise since everyone in Ryut always called me and Naofumi by title. It's good to know that you are trust us. I told him with a smile. Let's go back to Ryut then. I bet everyone is already waiting for us. He nodded and we back to Naofumi and others. Naofumi looked pale after riding Felo. Can't blame him though. Finally returning to Ryut village, we placed Felo and Ranga in a partially rebuilt stable, finally conversing about Felo and Ranga's quick growth. I'm honestly surprised. They grew up faster in 2 days than even me, Naofumi-sama, Rimuru-sama. Raftalia exclaimed in shock as well as awe. It was probably because of the help of the grow boost skill I obtained after absorbing Filo's eggshell and Ranga's fur. Ain't that right Felo, Ranga? Naofumi asked them. Yes, master. Gwe. Ranga can talk. Naofumi, Raftalia and Ake exclaimed in unison. I chuckle because of their shock face before I explained the situation. They nodded in understanding but still had a shock expression on their faces. As we talk about the plan for tomorrow, a nearby villager spotted something coming towards front gate of the town. Why are the knights here? The blonde-haired villager asked aloud. That question caught our attentions. Good question. Why are the royal knights here? Due to his bravery and exploits during the previous wave, the king has decreed that the spear hero, Sir Motoyasu, become the new ruling lord of this region. Proudly stated the red-haired bitch, Malti. Next to her was Motoyasu himself atop a dragon. As Malti continued, the crowd began to talk amongst itself at the royal creed. In order to help with the rebuilding process of this village, Sir Motoyasu and I have come up with a toll. The price for such a toll will be 50 silvers for every time a person enters and leaves the village. Malti then stated firmly. This statement managed to anger some in the crowd, and when I mean some, that means most of the crowds. But that's too much. We won't be able to buy food after that. Someone from the crowd exclaimed. Quiet peasant. Do you wish to defy Sir Motoyasu's orders? Orders from a cardinal hero himself. Malti shouted into the crowd. Of course I can't let this happen to Ryut. But before I can speak. You bet we will. Naofumi shouted from the back. The crowd turned to him, feeling relief that Shield Hero helping them once again. This time, the bitch surprised while seeing Naofumi and his party, including me. Why they of all people here? Shield Hero, Katana Hero, as you heard, this village has become Sir Motoyasu's land. So, if you object this rule, then go away from this village. She told us. And leaving the villagers dying slowly because of heavy taxes. Yeah, no. I scoffed before turned to Motoyasu. Motoyasu, do you have any clue as how much money spent at the inn for a night, as well as a meal? Motoyasu seemed confused at my question. I sighed. This is enough proof that Motoyasu didn't know anything about the economic status of Ryut. The answer is 1. It only costs 1 silver, Bakayasu. By charging a 50 silvers for in and out, you're charging 100 nights worth of silvers. I retorted. The others couldn't help but chuckle at my words. Before bitch or Motoyasu could respond, the crowd began shouting at them in anger. The bitch had enough and attempted to use force to make them shut up. You dare defy a royal decree? Malti shouted, raising her hand. At that signal, the royal knights accompanying her raised their weapons at the crowd of villagers. Many of them looked astonished at the fact that she was willing to use force against them, while others became more angry at the sight of the tridents. At instant our party, including Naofumi and I stood in front of the crowd, protecting them. Naofumi ready to release air strike shield if the situation gone wild. Ake and Raftalia pointing their swords towards the knights. I, however, extended my right arm, aiming at the bitch's head as sparks of lightning appeared on my hand. Attacking the villagers and you are dead. You know what? That doesn't sound like bad option. So, if you care for your life, stand down. I declared at the knights, especially to the bitch. She, however, froze in the place she stood, knowing what I am gonna do. Before the situation could escalate or de-escalate any further, 5 cloaked figures came raining down, landing on the platform. Once Malty saw who they were, her fear rose to a whole new level. The figure in the center looked up, staring Malty in the eye. I trust you know who we are, and who we represent, Princess Malty. The feminine voice asked. Malty, who was shaking a little, with her arms still raised, shakily responded. Why are you here? Without respond, one of the cloaked figure provided an elegant scroll to the princess. You know what? If the bitch is afraid to them, then they are okay in my book, for now. Who are they? And why bitch is afraid to them? Now Fumi thought. Taking the scroll, Malty opened it before reading. As she read it, her fear left her, as her anger quickly spiked. But how? How can this be possible? Malty said, her fists tightening as she continued fuming. Lower the scroll, she pointed towards Naofumi. Raftalia and Ake lowered their swords when the cloaked figures initially came. Shield hero. We challenge you to a race for control over the village. Or are you too afraid to participate? Malty exclaimed, taunting him with a smile. Stepping forward, Naofumi extended his arms as if to say, come at me bitch. All right then. Just tell me when and where and I'll beat you both. Naofumi retorted, not even skipping a beat on his response. He just so cool. Forget the last part. Fuming, Malty's anger just seemed like it could no longer be contained. If any fear remained within her system, it was easily lost. Then do so right now, you criminal. The princess exclaimed before turning around and walking out of the village. Just outside the main gate of the village, Motoyasu's dragon, Ranga and Felo were waiting as the track was being set up for the race. Rubbing Filo's neck, Motoyasu spoke up next to him. This time I won't lose to you, Naofumi. He spoke with his usual overconfident tone. And don't think that bird can win against a dragon. It's not even a purebred. Before Naofumi could respond, Felo delivered a strong kick to Motoyasu's crotch, sending him literally flying into a haystack, all the while he was in excruciating pain. As the blonde man landed, Naofumi could overhear Malty screaming for someone with healing magic to come help Motoyasu and his cracked egg. I laughed so hard after saw the event that just occurred. The others seemed laugh too, and some of the villagers and knights hold back their laughs. Damn, these scene is pure comedy. That's karma F for you, Bakayasu. Naofumi exclaimed with laugh. After taking a minute to calm down, Naofumi mounted Ranga, with Motoyasu doing the same thing with his dragon. The race will be 3 laps around the entire village. The first person to cross this gate on the 3rd lap will be declared the winner. The village elder informed. I rubbed Filo's neck to cheer her up. She seemed sad at the fact Naofumi is preferred to choose Ranga instead of her. Don't be sad, Felo. How about a delicious food after race to cheer you up? I told her, which makes she chirped in happiness. I hope you're ready to lose, Naofumi. Everyone knows that a dragon is superior in any way. Motoyasu stated as he peered over at Naofumi. Ranga definitely not happy when he got underestimated, but he restrained himself and decided to focus on the race. We'll see about that, Naofumi retorted as the village elder raised his arms to countdown. 3, 2, 1, go, he announced. The second he finished, both racers were off, leaving a trail of dust in their wake. With Naofumi in the lead, Ranga's tail swung back and forth, which blocking the spear hero's sight. As the race continued, the spectators could see large mounds of earth being shot up into the air at the sheer force of the competitors' rides. As they managed to get close to the end of their fist lap, a hole suddenly appeared in Ranga's path, but fortunately Ranga managed to jump over it with his instinct. Why, I am not surprised at all. Naofumi inwardly sighed. Ranga, be careful next time. I have a feeling this is not over yet. I understand, Master. Ranga nodded affirmatively. I, who had witnessed the whole thing, saw 2 knights walk off to another part of the course. I ordered Raftalia and Ake to scouting them while I use body shapeshift, bat wings, to watch the race from above and also to watch my companions. Ake snuck up behind the knight. He could hear him begin an incantation. He was not going to let that slide. Taking out his dagger, his emergency weapon, he snuck in behind him before he held it to his throat. If you want to cheat, then do it. You know the consequence, are you? Wait. Please. I have a family. Please don't kill me. The knight said in panic, sweat rolling down his forehead. He saw Naofumi past his position and after that he knocking the knight out cold. As Naofumi and Ranga ran past the gate, signaling their second lap, the dirt that was kicked up sprayed into Malti's face, forcing her to cover her eyes and cough heavily. I bet Naofumi and Ranga do that with purpose. As they made their way around the course and into their third lap, Raphtalia had been scouting the people who may be attempting to cheat Naofumi out of his victory. Oh, how great she felt when she caught another knight attempting to use a speed spell on Motoyasu's dragon. Sneaking up on him, she put the knight into the exact same position that Ake used on the first night. Struggling, the man attempted to insult the Tanuki girl. Damn demi-human, let me go. I'll have your head for this. He said, the fear all too evident behind his empty threat. Leaning in close so he got the message, Raphtalia gave a threat of her own. Not if I have yours first. That one line was enough to scare the knight so much, that he actually pissed his pants. Letting the man go, he dropped to the ground, dazed. Delivering a nice hard kick to his head, Raphtalia knocked him out cold. Before the race could end, she went back to the finish line to cheer for Naofumi as he kept his lead on his opponent. Ranga finally crossed the finish line, the village erupted in cheers for Naofumi's victory. Sir Shield Hero, that was great. Thank you for doing this. Without the princess getting our way, we can focus on rebuilding our village. The elder exclaimed, excited that he didn't have to deal with any of the royalty any longer. Climbing off from Ranga, Naofumi turned to villager with a smile. You're welcome. However, it thanks to Ranga for winning the race. After Naofumi said that, Ranga and Felo began to grow again. Now, Felo turned from an ostrich-like bird into a something more akin to an owl and her height is even taller than before. Ranga turned more taller than before and a second horn has appeared on his head, although it's smaller than the first one. You cheater. You never told us that you used that wolf instead of your Philoleel. The bitch accused Naofumi. On the contrary, I believe you were the one who cheated, princess. I fly down to the ground while everyone is staring at me. I swear some of the knights and villagers muttered the word, goddess. Geez, what's wrong with everyone here? Raphtalia and Ake managed to stop two of your royal knights from interfering the race. Raphtalia and Ake nodded in affirmative. Before Bitch could give some snarky response, the cloaked figures from before once again reappeared, giving information on what they had done. Lady Katana Hero and her two companions is correct. We found traces of magic in the course, as well as in two unconscious knights who we woke up and questioned, therefore confirming their information. One of the cloaked figures reported. Bitch looked like she was going to blow a fuse at essentially being called out as a big cheat. Without anything else to say, Bitch and Motoyasu just turned and began to leave the village, her knights following their out. He didn't approach us as usual he do. He must have PTSD because of Felo. Sir Hero, as stated before, the entire village thanks you once again for saving us. We are truly grateful for everything you have done for us. The old man said with a smile on his face. As I said, it's nothing. I'm glad that we can help you after all the kindness you showed to us. Naofumi said with a smile on his own. We really want to repay your kindness, Sir Hero. If you need something, please just told us. The old man further said. Naofumi want to reject, but Felo suddenly peck his head. Naofumi turned to her as she looked at the cart. I think she wants that cart, Naofumi. I told him. Ah, I see. Naofumi nodded before turned to the villager. Then let me borrow that cart please. Of course, just give us a few minutes and we'll have it ready for you. The elder said as he motioned for some of the villagers to get working on the cart. Naofumi-sama, Rimuru-sama. Come on, the cart is ready. Raphtalia called us. While waiting for the cart, Naofumi and I discuss about the next plan. Naofumi suggests to not go to the capital for a while since we literally defy the royal decree, which I agree. Also, I have a feeling that the church will use this accident to finally ban and framed us. Walking over, we did a quick inspection of the cart, making sure it was in good shape. They certainly did a good job at fixing this thing, I will say that. Now Fumi commented as he checked the new and improved planks of wood fixated to the hull of the cart. Indeed. This cart looked like new, fresh cart. I added. But sadly Ranga can't get into the cart. Ake said while rubbing Ranga's head while Ranga just growled in disappointment. Gway. Felo said in response, happy to be hooked up to the cart. Chuckling. Now Fumi pulled himself up into the cart, a few boxes of basic goods such as potions and fabrics having been loaded up earlier so we could have something to properly trade. I rubbed Ranga's head and told him to not speak in front of villagers before go to the cart, followed by Ake and Raftalia. Ranga walked beside Felo since he's simply too big. As we began to pull out of Ryut village, I called out to the group of villagers near the front gate. Thank you all again for this. We'll come back, we promise, just don't do anything crazy until we return, alright? The villagers just laughed before agreeing with me. Watching me and my companions leave, they waved off one last time before we disappeared down the road. As the sun began setting off in the horizon, a single cart could be seen traveling the dirt roads of the Melromark countryside. To many, it seemed as if it were just another trader en route to another town, but to those who knew, it was simply the shield hero and his companions, en route to another town. To be